Hey everyone, Lisa the Whimsical Gardener here. Today we're going to plant these 3 hydrangeas that we got on sale from Pike's. I am back at the front of my subdivision, and it's a project that I've been working on for a couple of years now. And what I typically do is when plants are on sale, mostly perennials, I will just get them and then plant them out. I have a plan in my mind of what I want the front of our subdivision to look like. And so I've been building on that year over year. I went to Pike's today and they had the, let's see, this is called Sweet Starlight Hydrangea. That's on sale. It's a pinnacle hydrangea, grows about 3 to 4 feet tall. So not that tall as like limelight that can get double that size. And it does bloom on new wood. So this we would prune in the spring. And normally these at Pike's were like $44.99, and I actually got them for $19.99 each. So, and they had them, they're in pretty good shape. I'll bring them in a little bit closer so you can see them. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to place them where I want them to go. And I'm going to give you some planting tips as well. One of the kids from our subdivision is going to come out later on this weekend and dig the holes for me because it's ridiculously hard to dig the hole here. So I'll bring you guys in a little closer. We'll look at the hydrangea and then I'll place them as well. And then he's going to come back out, dig the holes for me. I'll come back and plant them and give you guys some instructions from there. All right, let's start it. So the area I want to plant those 3 hydrangea is actually when you're coming in at the front of our subdivision. That's the clubhouse. This is where I've been planting all of the other perennials. And I planted some hydrangeas there last year, but what I want to do is behind here. I think it would be nice to have some hydrangea peeking up from behind there. And this is a perfect area because it's part shade, and that's what these hydrangeas need. So I think if I have 3 dotted them here, would look really nice. And it'll just continue with the height over here. So let me set them up and place them, and we'll go from there. Thought process is that I don't want to go too close to the roots of the trees. So that's why I space them this way. Now these are going to get about 3 feet apart, so I think that's good enough. They can touch each other eventually, but I think that's a pretty good placement, and that's not bad for $19.99 each, right guys? Crazy. So I'll wait for the holes to be dug, and then I'll come back out and we'll plant. We'll put a little bit of fertilizer, and I may do a little bit of pruning, and then I'll go over when do you prune this and things like that. So this will continue. For you, it'll be 2 seconds. So my husband actually came out and dug the hole for me, and he placed the hydrangeas in there. So we're going to go ahead and get them planted, and I'll share some tips with you guys. So the first thing I'm going to do, hopefully you can see me, is let me take this out of the hole. You want to dig the hole at least 2 times the size of the container. That's a recommended. That's a recommendation. However, you don't really have to. I found just as long as you dig it big enough to cover the root bulb, you should be fine. Now, I don't have any garden tone, so I'm going to use some Polytone. I'm a little bit out of my fertilizer, but Polytone works good as well. So I'm just putting a little bit in there. And now what I want to do is make sure that the bottom of the container sits really close. I'm sorry, what I meant is that the bottom of the root ball is sitting directly in contact with the soil. Let me bring you guys in a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. Alright, so what I did was I took the dirt and I just compacted to the bottom of the soil because it was a little bit clunky. So I just basically filled it up so that when I put back the root in there, it's going to sit flush against it. Yesterday when I was buying these at Pike's, they did say that they went ahead and fertilized them the day before, in which I can see the little fertilizing pellets in there. So that's good. And now when I'm taking it out of the container, I'm going to try to position it as trying to figure out which part will be the front of the hydrangea and which will be the back. And so to do that, what I do is I've already figured out that this is how I want the orientation of it to be, because I placed it like that yesterday, but I think that's good. If I turn it the other way around, it's not going to be shaped really well. So I left it exactly like that. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the dirt and I'm going to backfill from there. Which I realized didn't bring my digging shovel again. That's okay. Now what I'm doing is you'll notice that the root ball is a little bit higher than the ground, and I'm doing that on purpose because I don't want water to, when it rains, to go up against the root and basically settle by the root. I want it to go away from the root. So if I do it higher, the water will fall away from the root, from the stem, I mean. Yeah, I should have brought my digging shovel, guys. It should have been a lot easier. Now I don't have to water this in because it's raining a little bit right now. And I'm using my foot to make sure that I remove all the air bubbles. Alright, so that's plant number 1. Plant number 2, doing the same exact thing, putting some holly cone. Make sure the bottom of it is flat. Take my container out, my plant out from the container, and I'm gonna make sure I set it in, and I'm making sure that it's actually sitting flush, as well as sitting a little bit higher above the ground. And then let me make sure I'm positioning it right, which I think it looks good there. And now I'm going to backfill. Alright, that's hydrangea number 2. I gotta go stock up on my fertilizer. Completely out now. Doing the same thing here. I'll go over some fertilizing treatments, some pruning and so forth with you guys in a sec. Alright, backfilling now. So in terms of pruning, so these basically bloom on new wood. So what that means is you typically can prune them in spring. And that's what I'll do is I'll prune these in spring, and I'll bring you guys along for that. Fertilizing, I usually fertilize them once a year. So what I normally do is at the beginning of spring, I'll come put some fertilizer around the root ball. And then in terms of water, so these are in Georgia clay, and Georgia clay does hold on to a lot of water. So we're not gonna put irrigation in this area. water from the rain would be enough to cover it, similar to the ones you're seeing over on that end that we planted last year. They would do good. So that's why I'm looking for a low maintenance shrub to kind of redo this whole area as we work on this project. In the future, we want to pull out all these old junipers because they're a little bit, they're like 20 years old, I think, maybe 25 years old at this point, and they're due to be replaced. But we have a budget, and I'm trying to stick within that budget. But again, looking at this, I'm going to show you from the front view. It's going to be really nice because you have the low junipers and then the hydrangea hedge here. Now, I could have extended this way, which I'll show you guys a little bit, but I did not because we have tree roots and I don't want to damage this plant here, which is it's a beautiful tree. Here's a look out. So I need to Google what this tree is, but it's a beautiful tree. And then under it, you have the juniper starting out, and then you've got the hydrangeas. And those should eventually come close to touching each other, as they go about 3 feet wide. They're about, I think, 3 to 5 feet tall, is what the specs are. And again, they're perennial. So I'm basically continuing the hedge of hydrangeas here. My plan is that in the future, when there's different types of hydrangeas, I want to complete this whole area over here. So there's like a hydrangea hedge, or some form of flowering shrub. I'm thinking maybe some American beauty berries would look good there too as well, because they can handle part shade. And then my plan is, if I can find some Japanese maple on sale, we'll take these 2 out, and I can plant some Japanese maple there. And then my plan is some here as well, that we can put a Japanese maple there. And I want to pull those 2 shrubs out there from the clubhouse, pull that out, and maybe plant them with some yews. I think that would look a little bit better, but I got to do this on a budget. We only have so much budget for landscaping, and I don't want to go overboard. So these are all of the perennials we got on clearance. And last year I got these 3 each for $19.99 as well. Then we added these. That's about it for this project. So planting our hydrangeas. They do look amazing, don't they? Not bad for finding these at Pike's for $19.99. And it's a great way. So I'm really hoping that in about another 2-3 years, the front of the subdivision will totally be transformed with perennials and some evergreens as well. Would love if you can like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Until next time, everybody, happy gardening.